Hey everyone, Dr. Bernie here and Dr. Ness from
Hello.
Revive Chiropractic. So what we've found over the last few weeks is that some people have to put their care on hold due to the COVID-19 crisis. So one of the things we realised was that a lot of people have already invested a lot of time, energy and resources into their care. Is that right?
Absolutely.
And what we want to make sure we do is we want to protect that investment that you've already put into your health. We really respect the trust you've given us, and in this time where you have to put it on hold, we are going to give you some holding exercises that are going to help you until you are ready to come back into care. Is that right? These are also great exercises for if you have to go on holiday or you need to take a break from care at any point in time. So there are two main things that we'd like to focus on in terms of our spinal health, and what are those two things?
Yep. So the first one is strength. You need to make sure your spine is strong, and we do that by adjusting, but also you can stabilize the postural muscles that hold you up against gravity. And the other one is mobility. So your spine is made of individual segments that all need to move, and that's what an adjustment provides, that movement to those vertebrae that are not moving. What we want to do is now make sure you're moving through your spine as much as you can.
Great, it's a really great point. That's what the adjustment does, and nothing actually substitutes for the adjustment, but there are things that can do to hold that. So, because what we know is if we don't do anything, and we all know this, if we don't do anything, that leads to regression.
Absolutely.
Okay, and we want to stop that regression if we can, or at least hold it where it is. So that's the idea behind these exercises, and we know that when you're ready to come back in, the idea being if you've been able to do these holding exercises, that we should be able to kind of jump straight back into where we left off, or at least we know that the intensity of care won't need to go up as much as it potentially could do if we completely stop everything. Is that a fair point?
Yes.
Yeah, great. So we're going to go through these holding exercises now. Dr. Vanessa, you're going to be our subject, a guinea pig, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Great. Vanessa has much better range of motion than me, so we're better off seeing someone do it really, really well than someone who isn't so great. So we're going to dive into those now. Let us know how you go. So first exercise is neck range of motion. So we're going to flexion and extension. Then we'll go into rotation, both sides. And after that, we'll go into lateral flexion. And then we'll go into full head circles. Then we'll come into our shoulders. We're going to take a power hand stance, fingers bent at the top and thumbs pointing. Take the arms out to the side, thumbs pointing forward. We're going to do small forward circles. Then we're going to turn the hands up, the palms up, thumbs pointing back, and doing small circles going backwards. Being mindful of keeping the shoulder blades squeezed together. Taking our power hand stance and putting them on our temples, and then bringing the elbows together. Next, we're going to move into thoracic. So now we're going to do our thoracic range of motion, and this is called cat and cow. You want to make sure that your hands are under your shoulders and your knees are under your hips, that shoulder and hip width apart. First thing you're going to do is drop your belly down and look up to the ceiling, and then roll your head through and fully flex that spine in a cat position. Okay, now we're going into our lumbar pelvic range of motion, and we're going to go into a squat. We're going to do 5 squats in motion. Important to keep our feet under our shoulders, and we don't want to come forward with our thoracic as we come down. We want to keep that nice and upright. So using a pole or a door frame, we're going to go down into 5 squats. At the end of the 5th one, we're going to hold for 30 seconds and then come up out. So then we're going to come into a lunge. We're going to do 5 lunges. And at the end of the 5th one, we're just going to hold down. And so as we're holding this bottom position, we're turning our pelvis up, engaging front of the thigh and lower abdomen on the back leg. And hold for 30 seconds. And then swap over and do the same thing. 5 pulses, and then holding on the fifth one for 30 seconds. So the first exercise in our postural strengthening exercises is you want to live longer. That's YWTLs. The first position is Y. And you're engaged. This whole time we're doing the exercise, we're engaging our shoulder blades. Our thumbs are turning out backwards. When we come down into the W position, keeping engaged in those shoulder blades. Thumbs pointing back. Coming into a T position. It will get a little more challenging now, but we want to hold and keep contracting those shoulder blades. And now down into Ls. And relax. Okay, next one is our Supermans. So we're going to, in the Superman position, but we're going to do alternate arm and leg first of all. So we're going to lift up one arm and one leg, thumb pointing to the sky, hold for about 3 seconds and down, then alternate. Keep chin tucked in. And again. And we're going to do this 5 times on each side, so a total of 10. And then we'll rest and do that again. And at the end of the second set, we're going to do a max hold in full Superman position. So both arms up and both feet off the table with the thumbs pointing to the sky. If you find that a little stressful on your lower back, just lower your feet down and just hold max effort. And relax. Our final exercise is our glute bridges. So bring your feet close to your bottom so your fingertips can touch, and that's your starting position. Bring a ball in between or anything in between your knees, and you're going to squeeze that together. And then we're just going to lift our hips up off the ground, squeezing our buttocks, our hamstrings, and holding for somewhere between 6 to 15 seconds max, or as you start shaking, and then lower down. Rest for 5 seconds, and then repeat. And we'll do this 10 times, twice. Okay, so there you have our holding exercises. Thanks to Dr. Vanessa for kindly showing us those. There are 3 things we want to go over. So how often should we be aiming to do these per week?
Look, in an ideal world, you would be doing them 7 days a week. I know it is time consuming, but 5 to 7 days a week is ideal. You'll get the most benefit from it doing it that way.
So that's how important it is, because we know you've not been able to do your adjustments at the moment. So these, doing 5 to 7 times a week is going to be ideal. Do you think there's a time of the day or when people should perhaps try to do them?
Look, I think at the moment there are a lot of people working from home, or if they are not currently working, they may be spending time sitting, and both in both situations in probably positions that are not particularly ergonomic. So I think it's always good if you've been sitting for periods of time to move, and that's probably when it's best to do these exercises.
So after you watch a bit of Netflix, hey?
For sure.
Great, or this video. One of the other things we wanted to say, that these are a great complement to the postural restoration exercises most of you already received as well. So you can continue those, continue your Denerol as well. So these are great complements to those things. So don't stop the Denerol, don't stop the postural exercises. We want to continue to do those as well, don't we?
Absolutely.
Great. And so just to let you know, we are open. We're here for you when you're ready. And we look forward to hearing your feedback about these exercises, and we even look more forward to when you return back into the office.
Bye, guys.